Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Flea Market Finds episode. This is picks from the outdoor flea market on October 3rd, 2021. I got this cheap Chinese drop indicator for $5. Yeah, it's Chinese, but it's actually very, very clean and it works perfectly. I got this parallel clamp. Looks like a home shop made one. No markings on it. Decent size one. Got it for $5. I got this nice Starrett number 220 multi-anvil micrometer. It's in excellent shape. It's got the stepped anvil, which sometimes is missing, and also has the round pin for the other anvil. There's a V-groove in the jaw to hold that. This one is clean as a whistle. I got this for $30. He had 45 on it, so that was actually a pretty good deal. I don't usually buy hammers anymore because I have so many of them, but this Lixie hammer caught my eye because I've never seen a Lixie like this with a brass head like that. And it's definitely the original head by the looks of it because it says Lixie right on it. A Lixie B, brass or bronze hammer. So I thought that was kind of neat. He wanted 10. I ended up getting this for $7 or $8. This little pile right here I put together at a dealer, and I got this whole pile right here for $10. It includes this nice, really heavy-duty Armstrong C-clamp. It's a really beefy one, even though it's a small one. This drill index, these are always handy. This one is made by the Great Lakes Press Steel Company of Buffalo, New York, so not a cheap import. This probably unmarked. Well, maybe there is a name on it. This really old wrench caught my eye. Some of these little wrenches like this are bicycle wrenches and can be pretty collectible. This one's pretty beat up and I'm not seeing any name on it. Sometimes you have to open it up further to see the name. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything, so no big deal. And this, which I was glad to come across, this, I'm pretty sure this is a C-clamp for Starrett V-block that I got, which I still have here on the bench, that I scored at the tractor show, swap meet, and it was missing a clamp. And I believe this is the correct, yeah, see, this is the correct style of clamp for this V-block. So now I can put the two of them together, sell them as a pair. I came across a dealer who had a few things. I was able to put together this lot for $30 for the whole lot. This is a drill index. This is a General Hardware drill index. A number 14. Had a few of these. This is a Lufkin small snap gauge or hole gauge set. They do all appear to move freely. You had 25 on this Mitutoyo DTI that actually is very nice and clean and works perfectly. And it's a 0.5 per division indicator. There's quite a few little extras in here. Yeah, 25 on that alone, so to get him down to 30 for this pile was pretty good. And he had 15 on this, which is, it's a Federal in the original box. What I liked about this was that it's a vertical, which you don't see as often, and B, it's, for the age, it's extremely clean. This also says Swiss made on the side, which means it was a better quality Federal DTI than some of the stuff that's out there. It's a .0001 resolution indicator, so it's a 10th indicator. It actually says brevet, B-R-E-V-E-T-E on it. I'm assuming that's someplace in Switzerland. It's probably a location in Switzerland, so this goes in like that. There's actually also some extra points with it, so that's going to be a nice little find for somebody. I'm going to give somebody a deal on that. So these next several items are not machinist tools or anything. They were just things, they were deals that I just couldn't pass up. You know, every once in a while somebody comes along that sets up at the flea market that's not a regular dealer, and they don't do house clean outs, and they're just the kind of people that decided, hey, we've got to downsize. And this is exactly what this couple was. It was an older couple, and I happened to be walking along, and I saw this large shovel. This big aluminum shovel. He says, oh, that'll move a lot of snow. But it was more like a coal shovel style. But I had agreed to help someone with some demolition work of an old house, and I knew there was going to be a lot of lath and plaster, which if you've ever done demo work of lath and plaster, it's messy and it breaks up, and you end up with lots of it on the floor that you have to scoop up into barrels and haul out to a dumpster, and it's heavy. And I looked at the shovel and I thought, that's going to be the perfect tool for this job. And I asked the guy how much for the shovel, and he said $3. And I was like, wow, that's a heck of a deal on that. So I was going to buy the shovel. While I was standing there, I noticed that they were shooting really low prices on a lot of stuff. Somebody asked about this battery pack, and they said $20. And the person asked if it worked. And he says, yeah, it works, just needs to be charged. Now, of course, that could be a complete line. This could be complete junk. Person looked at it, walked away. Another guy came up, he looked in this toolbox, and sockets and stuff in there, and he's looking through them, and of course he's probably looking for snap-on, and he doesn't see anything that strikes him. But while he's looking through it, the older gentleman says, I tell you what, give you a deal, that whole box, $10. And that guy walked away. So the first deal I struck with these people was, I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I bought the shovel, this box, and the battery pack as is, $20. Couldn't pass that up. So I'm going to try and charge the battery pack and see what happens with that. It's completely dead right now. It doesn't do anything. So, now, even if this battery pack turns out to be bad, most likely what's wrong with it would be the cells inside. And if that ends up being the case, I could buy the cells online and replace them and probably do a video on it. Alright, so I plugged this thing in to charge it. It looked like it was charging, but the green light never came on, and it's been on for 2 days now. And when I press the button here to show the amount of charge that it has in it, it's showing the red light. It wasn't showing any light before, so it took a little bit of a charge, but it won't go past that less than 50%, I guess, or whatever. It turns on the boost. So the electronics seem to be working, so I'm pretty confident that more than likely it's just the battery packs inside are junk. I kind of noticed after, when I looked at it a little more closely, there's some pretty decent evidence that this has been used quite a bit. The amount of plastic torn up on this area right here where the clamps get stored when they're not being used would indicate to me that this is seeing some serious service. I got my battery tester. This is a battery tester that will apply a load to a battery, and I figure I can use this to put a load on the battery jumper pack here and see what happens. I was curious how many cranking amps I can generate with this thing. And when I turn it on, we're still not getting anything. That's interesting. Normally, as soon as I hook up this to a battery, I see the float charge on the battery, the unloaded voltage, and then when I pull the switch here, it will show me the battery voltage as it drops, as the resistor that's built in here loads it down. But there's nothing. Doesn't appear to be anything coming out of this thing. It's strange that I'm getting absolutely no voltage out of the jumper cables, but when I measure the 12 volt outlet here voltage, it's 11.3 volts. So my suspicion is that there's enough of a charge in the battery right now to run the electronics, but that the battery voltage is so low that it's not allowing a relay or something to close to energize these cables. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet whether or not I'll try repairing that. But let's take a look at what's in this box that I got for $10, which I thought was fantastic. So, oh, and this is the funny part too. I thought it was funny because I'm such a hilarious guy. These were sitting on the table with some other hand tools. So when we were getting down to the nitty gritty, I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I grabbed these, I added these in, showed him, I said, look, I'm taking these cutters, putting them in this box, and then we cut the deal. So I got these. These were the only hand tools that I saw that I wanted off of his table. I didn't even see a brand on them. I just saw that they were good, really heavy duty cutters, cable cutters, and the blade actually looks pretty decent on them. Alright, so under the rust here, these are marked HKP. So these are HK Porter soft cable cutters, and they're $21 at Home Depot. So they're not a really high end, you know, but still, I got them for, you know, just throwing in. So I'm going to take a minute to sort these. Alright, so I sorted all the sockets. So all of this up here in the tray, this is all Chinese. Most of these are badged companion. So they were there's probably might even be a full set there, I don't know, but I don't care. Those are all just going to go in my bucket of cheap sockets, which eventually, if I ever get around to having a yard sale, I'll try and pawn them off in one whole lot to somebody, and if not, they'll go to the scrapyard. All of these sockets over here, these are all Craftsman. This is an Eastco made in USA extension, so I'll keep that, throw that in with my other ones. This pile of stuff here, this is a Husky, but it's a Torx drive, so I'll probably keep that. This is kind of neat. This is a little T-bar that you can use in smaller drive, quarter-inch drive sockets. So there must have been a handle that slid on here. I don't know. But anyways, keep that in my little box with small sockets. And then these are, I don't care what brand they are, I'm just going to keep them because they're handy to have. That you can chuck them in the impact driver. Different sizes. And this one's actually a 1/2-inch drive. So I don't even think I have one of those. But wait, there's more. This is kind of what I saw on the bottom of the box that made me think it was well worth the $10 he was asking. I got 4 Craftsman ratchets. That's a no-name extension on there. But. And then all of these are Craftsman combination wrenches. Pile of those. This is Chicago Pneumatic, which is probably Chinese. Oh, actually it says Japan. But anyways, there's a companion adjustable wrench, so this must have been part of that set that those sockets belong to. So that's junk. No name. Slip joint pliers. This is kind of nice. Not 1, not 2, but 3 of these tire inflators, an air gun, and a couple of air fittings. Kind of ratty looking, but genuine pair of vice grips. So nothing wrong with that. The Craftsman, what is it? Yeah, that's a Craftsman 1/4-inch drive. This looks suspiciously like Husky. Workforce, not familiar with that name. That sounds like, you know, like a Home Depot kit or something like that. Oh, look at that. There's even some bits in there. one of these cheapo wrenches that comes usually in a toolkit with something like a saw, like, you know, a circular saw or something like that. A big washer. And these three things, which they look like they were end plugs for something. I don't know. They say Behlen Country, Behlen, Behlen Country. So I have no idea what those are. They'll go in the trash. Here's that shovel I got for $3. You know, I ended up piling it with that those couple other items to make it 20, but I was already willing to pay the $3 for this shovel. You know, it's aluminum, so the edge is a little chewed up from years of use. Actually, interestingly enough, it says heat treated on there. The plastic handle. Don't know who makes it, but I mean, for $3, this came in. This was invaluable during that demo work I did. So these same folks that had the stuff dirt cheap, they had this stuff sitting there, and I had brought some of my stuff to the car. When I came back, I saw this stuff. It was still sitting there, and I just couldn't pass up asking about them because I just knew that they were just giving the stuff away so darn cheap. So I ended up getting this this Schumacher branded battery charger. This is one of these, I guess you would call it a intelligent battery charger. It has microprocessor control in it, so it senses charge levels and will automatically go into maintain mode and things like that. Now, I got one of these Schumacher chargers a while back. I don't even remember where I got it from or what I paid for it, and I've used that several times and been happy with it. And then I saw this one had the digital readout, and I said, well, this looks like it might be a little bit even nicer unit. I have recently used this one, and I can also say I'm very happy with this one. This one has the ability to show you the percentage of total charge in the battery, as well as voltage level. After it's been on for a couple minutes, it'll go into sleep mode, and this will go dark, but then you hit any button and it will show you the current percentage of the charge of the battery. So, great little charger. If anybody's wondering, this is a model S as in Sierra, C as in Charlie, 1304. My other one, the box looks identical, the size is identical. The only difference on the other one is it doesn't have a digital readout, doesn't have all of these lights. It just has a couple of buttons and fewer indicator lights, but they just seem to be really great chargers, and you know, they feel kind of cheesy construction wise, but as far as what they do, I'm very happy with it. And these are not for what they are, they're kind of expensive. Oh, so I think I forgot to mention, I got this for $3. Then he had this hose sitting there. So how much for the hose? He says $3. So I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm taking that. Brand new. Not familiar with this particular brand. Never Kink Max. Made in the USA. A flippin' 50-foot garden hose made in the USA for $3. Crush-proof aluminum couplings. Industrial male coupling, crush rated up to 1400. So you can see how beefy these couplings are on the end. So the idea is, if you run this over with your lawn tractor, for instance, it can take it, as opposed to, you know, the standard brass plated steel that they use on a cheaper hose. And then the last item I grabbed from these nice folks was this pair of jumper cables I saw sitting there. And you know, I kind of always look at how heavy the gauge of the wire is on these things before I bother even looking at them, and usually they're very flimsy. These, at first glance, appeared to be a little bit heftier. And then while I was trying to figure out what the wire gauge was on these, he saw me looking at them and he said $2. And then at that point, I didn't care what the gauge was. I just grabbed them for $2. Got a couple of strands here broken, so but I also was able to use these today successfully. There's over $2 in scrap copper in this alone. And in case anybody was curious, it does say right here that this is AWG 4, which means this is number 4 copper wire. Decent quality wire in these cables. And this last group of items are all miscellaneous electronics that I got from the same vendor. Initially, I spotted this, and I thought it was an effects pedal. So I ended up making an offer on this because it's, it's got some corrosion on it. It looks like it's been somewhere where it's been damp, and it's completely, as is. I have no idea whether or not it works at all. I took a chance on it and offered him $10, and he went for that. So I ended up getting this for $10, and once I got it home and I checked into it, what it is this is from a company called Line 6. You can see it right here. They make guitar amplifiers, and what this is a pedal board for controlling a Line 6 model of amplifier. So this is called the FBV short board, and what this does is this gives you the ability to have a foot pedal that will allow you to basically call up different functions in the amplifier. At least that's my understanding of it. It's actually got almost like a Cat 5 connector on the back there, an EXP pedal. I don't know what that's for, but it says for dedicated volume control. Oh, okay. So the problem with this is I don't think I can even test this without an actual Line 6 amp. So I've got one or two choices. I could either sell this as is for parts, say on eBay, or I'm only into this for $10. I could just save it for the switches. There are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There are 12 switches here, which these type of switches are not uncommon in a lot of effects pedals. So I don't know yet what I'm going to do. I might end up just keeping this for parts. I think these working in working condition only bring around $50, so I don't know. It's going to be a pain to ship it too. So anyways, I bought that for $10, and then ended up seeing that he had a tote with a bunch of stuff he hadn't even gone through yet. He was still kind of like trying to set up, and again, he was one of these dealers who does clean outs, so he had a ton of stuff that he was selling off. But it wasn't like the last situation where the people would just look at the downsides and giving the stuff away. This guy was looking to turn it into money. So anywho, I ended up looking through the tote, pulled a few things out of the tote that I had absolutely no interest in because I didn't want those things to drive up the price. Put those off on the table, left the other stuff in the tote, and we basically did a deal on the contents of the tote for $60. So let me show you what I got in that tote with the tote for $60. Amongst other things in the tote was this small pile of guitar cords. So I figured, they look like they are in pretty good shape. They might even be new old stock, I don't know. I don't think they're particularly fancy ones as far as the brand or anything, but I am in need of some guitar cords. So these say the Rapco Horizon Company low noise instrument cable. Well, that's got a right angle one on it. That's kind of neat. This is RHC concert quality instrument cable made in the USA. Oh, all right. So these aren't all the same. So these ones with the yellow on them are RHC, made in the USA. And this blue one is a Rapco. Oh, apparently RHC is Rapco. So apparently these are all the same company. And then he had these two small effects pedals in there. This is a Boss DS1 distortion pedal, and this is a Electro Harmonix small clone EH4600 full chorus. And again, have no idea whether or not these even work. There were no AC power adapters to be seen anywhere in the box. This microphone marked Japan on the outside of the case, and it is the thing about this is, see, start and stop. So this is a microphone that would go with probably would have originally been an accessory for a tape player. Now this is interesting. Somebody has put together, they went through quite an ordeal here to basically get this so that they could plug this microphone into a 1/4-inch jack stereo. That's interesting. Would have only worked in one channel. Alright, so this doesn't belong to this. Oh, there we go. Okay, see, Super Scope, Marantz. This is what I think I might have spotted about this. This, I think, actually was on the table, and I added this in to the deal to close the deal. See, this is an EC-3S cardioid condenser stop-start microphone by Super Scope by Marantz. Super Scope was a series that came out by Marantz Stereo, I think, in the 70s or maybe the early 80s. Actually, I think it was 70s. And anyhow, this was actually good quality stuff. So I'm curious whether or not this has any value. EC3S, it'll be easy enough to look up. Oh, so one of these did sell on eBay for $28 with free shipping. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm missing a few things here. It's missing the windscreen. There was a little foam windscreen that went on here. That is nowhere to be seen. And a couple of plastic pieces that acted as a little stand, so you could stand it up on the desk. And then apparently this is battery powered, and I'm glad to see there are no batteries in it, and there's no sign of corrosion. So you actually put batteries in this thing, and it has a little preamplifier inside there. Kind of neat. Oh well. Oops, not the killer piece I was hoping that was going to be. Then there was this Sony, what do you call this? A Bluetooth speaker, right? So I was like, oh, all right, well, this might be handy. And what's kind of cool is I just, for the heck of it, pressed the button and it powered up. So now let's see whether or not I can get this to pair with my phone. If I remember how to do this. It's been a while, so I had to pair anything with my phone. There it is. It's an SRS-X3 in case I needed to know the model. Alright, so let's see. It appears it is online and ready to go. Hey guys, welcome to another Flea Market Finds. This is from a tractor show swap meet back in July, and this was not a bad show. Pretty cool.
I'm the man from the mountain.
That's probably all I can play without getting into copyright infringement problems. I'll tell you, this is a really great sound out of this little thing. The only thing I see wrong with it is there's a dent here. It looks like maybe it got dropped at one point. SRS X3. Wonder how much this thing was new. Oh, all right. So this came out 2014. Sony introduced this, and here's a CNET review. And this guy says that it's a worthy contender to the Bose SoundLink Mini, which must have been the one of the top ones there. So they gave it an 8.0 overall, and they said compact size, price point of $150. Wow. Let's see what else is in this box of electronics. That's weird. It's just a little USB extension cable. It's a pair of headphones. HD7. These look like Presonus. These look like, what do you call it? They're gaming headphones, maybe? Oh, there's a whole Presonus audio box USB 96. And there's one of these flipping fancy schmancy microphones like they use, like you see guys who do podcasts and stuff doing, right? So, it's the Presonus M7. There's a Korg chromatic tuner. Oh, that's cool. Does not work. Maybe it just needs batteries. Optical mouse, 2.4 gigahertz. Well, there's no receiver for this mouse, so this is pretty much junk. Well, let me look up. Let's see what this Presonus stuff is, because I think that's what this. Yeah, see this bag right here is for all this stuff. All right, so this is not cheap. This stuff. This USB 96 is $100 on Amazon. This microphone, the M7 microphone, is $70. And these headphones, these HD7 headphones, are $60. And then I'm assuming that maybe this might have come in a package. I don't know. Imagine it wouldn't be too hard to test this stuff. I'm wondering what this uses for a power supply. I guess maybe it just gets its power from the USB port that you plug it into. Well, I figured out how to open up the tuner here, and the batteries were in it. I was actually hoping they were dead. That would explain why it doesn't work. Unfortunately, the batteries are testing good, so I'm not quite sure why this doesn't work. These are worth about $10 used on eBay, so I'm not going to really worry too much about it, but it might have been. It's actually well reviewed, well received in reviews, so it's too bad. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Playing the sounds of A and B flat. What if you hold these both down to calibrate it? A little pitchy, dog. Well, I'm sure if I look up the instructions I could probably figure it out, but it does seem to do something. So it's got a microphone right here, so you can use it for acoustic guitars, and then you got a 1/4-inch jack on the side here, so you can plug your electric guitar right into it. A lot more portable and small than the chromatic tuner that I have upstairs, which is way too much overkill for a simple tuning thing like this. One last thing before I close out, this this wireless mouse actually still has power to it. Well, I guess the new version of this is USB rechargeable, and it has a little trap door that stores the part that plugs into the computer. So right there, that little well right there, that's where the thing that's missing is supposed to be stored. That would plug into the USB port on the computer, and it's the receiver for this thing. So unfortunately, this thing is useless without that. I actually thought maybe it was kicking around here. It would have been nice if it was just sitting in this
USB extension.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this flea market finds video, and if you did, please hit the like button, and if you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Take care.